fun.
I had a thought that we could play around with if you want. It spawned from me in my commutes lately listening to Pastor Lucas's sermons.
His sermon yesterday was awesome.
Pastor Lucas's sermons are really good. Because when Steven shares them, I listen to them.
It's so good. And Pastor Lucas, he had one that I thought was good. And it's one of those ones, I heard it, I think it was a couple weeks back that I listened to it. And I want to say he preached it several weeks back as well. But the lingering thought, and so I'm probably going to mess it up, so I'm not going to try to quote, but the lingering thought has stuck with me. And it's honest, like, I think it's good conversation for the four of us, but also for listeners. So he was talking about what do you do when you don't feel the Lord close? Because in some seasons, like we feel like, man, I can just feel God in this. I feel His presence. There's everywhere I turn, there's confirmation. I'm thinking about this, and like I keep running into the same thing. It's just so obvious the Lord's speaking to me. Every time I walk into church, every time I open my Bible, whatever it is, like I just feel the Lord close. And there's other times we don't feel the Lord close. I would always say, for myself in those moments, I always want to quickly look inward and be like, man, is there some sin that's kind of clouding my own vision, right? So I always try to take that quick inward look. I think that's always the right posture. Like, man, what's the ownership side? What's my role in this?
Yeah.
Am I creating the time, the space to hear from the Lord? So that's the first thing. But like, let's say that you do that quick check. And you're like, okay, I don't think there's anything major that I'm participating in that's creating this like
void separation.
Exactly. So then, like, because there are seasons, we know there's seasons where whether it's our fault or the Lord's trying to teach us something, strengthen us, whatever it is, where it's just like, man, we don't have all that warm fuzzies. So what do you do? And I'm kind of asking you guys, like, do y'all have something just off the cuff? You're like, yeah, when I'm walking through this, or not?
I think your initial reaction is correct for me. Like, hey, hold on, what am I doing, or what am I not doing? And sometimes it's not like anything major, but I think sometimes it's a lame excuse, but you just get busy doing stuff, and